Hey everybody, this is Brandon Gaudin, former voice for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, and you're listening to Basketball Conference, the ACC football podcast. Go Jackets, go ACC.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Basketball Conference, the ACC football podcast. My name is Joey Weaver. He's Mike McDaniel. Mike, week 5 upon us. We got some games to talk about. How you doing? You ready to go?
Only 7 games this week instead of like 14. So there's no way that we will take this podcast like 90 minutes. Right, Scott?
Bullshit.
I think for 7 games, usually the over-under is set at about an hour and 12. So we'll see how we do relative to that line.
Yeah. We do have a new segment at the end of the show, as you guys know, that I hope you all have been enjoying. We got something special to bring you this evening. And we're not just talking about the picks.
Yeah. Stay tuned. We got something special later in the show. Mike, we are not live. This is a recording. We're going to be posting it here a little bit. Should be going live in your feeds probably Friday morning at some point, we would imagine. We are on YouTube, youtube.com/@the-ACC football podcast. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. You'll find out when we're going to go live next. Hit that like button. That would be really helpful for us. If you're watching us after the fact, a lot of times we do go live. We'd love to have you come join us in the comments, join in the discussion as we go. But obviously a show like this, maybe not as much of an option. That'll happen from time to time in the season, but that's okay. If you're listening after the fact on audio, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever you go find your podcast, go find us there. Hit the subscribe button there, rate us or review us or whatever you can do on those platforms. We would appreciate that. Mike, Scott, anything before we get into a Rhoback look back at last week?
Nope.
Let's do it. All right. The Rhoback look back at week 4 brought to you by Rhoback.com. Use promo code GOACC20 for 20% off your first order at Rhoback.com.
Oh.
Also, excuse me?
I was saying, yep. Keep going.
Do it. Polos, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, all sorts of athleisure wear. It's all high quality. Looks fantastic. Feels fantastic. Holds up. I love mine. You'll love yours on the golf course, at the office, at church, whatever you're doing. Rhoback.com, all sorts of
Mike's wearing it right now.
Is he? Yeah. How's that hoodie feel, Mike?
Fantastic. Couldn't be more comfortable.
Is that part of the game day collection by chance?
Is it?
Yep.
It's got that Virginia Tech logo on there, I see.
It is. It is part of the game day collection. That's good podcasting.
There you go. Looks fantastic. Once again, go to Rhoback.com. Use promo code GOACC20 at checkout for 20% off your first order. Rhoback look back at week 4, Mike. A couple things we need to hit on that we did not quite fully have the information on the recap. First of all, San Diego State 34, Cal nothing.
Cal?
Obviously hit on that during the show, but did not have the official final score. Cal, whose offense led by Jaron Chiave Sangapalatele. How do we feel about
Smooth.
that? 6.5?
Well
That's perfect.
Okay, all right. Had looked really good to date, and then they went into San Diego and couldn't do it. Couldn't do it at all. It did not look good for the Bears. Shut out. A couple interceptions for him. Really tough scene. And Justin Wilcox not happy with kind of how the program overall treated this game in this week. We will see if there is a renewed focus and an improvement in the way that they perform as they now make a road trip to Chestnut Hill this weekend, making the quick little puddle jumper to Boston from Berkeley.
Yep.
What puddle are they jumping?
Yeah, I was going to say the Great Lakes.
Yeah. The Salt Lake, River. The Great Lakes.
Yeah.
All 1,000 lakes in Minnesota.
Yeah. They got they're taking the northern route, I guess. This is why we had Stanford join the ACC for moments like this, where you get to play at Chestnut Hill at 3:30 on a Saturday.
On the ACC network. Yep.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. Tough outing for the Calgorithm and the Golden Bears and the whole thing. Yeah, we'll see. This is another tough kind of back-to-back road trip to come back from that and then fly all the way across the country and take on Boston College. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit, Mike. Other thing that came out of last weekend, we had suspicions, but we got official confirmation. I forget if it was Sunday or Monday that Steve Angeli, quarterback for Syracuse, did confirm that he tore his Achilles in that win over Clemson. Steve Angeli had played really well so far this season. If I'm not mistaken, leading the ACC in passing yards, one of the leading passers in the country. I think had performed about as well as you could have asked for the guy transferring in, former backup at Notre Dame, all this stuff, filling in for Kyle McCord from last year. He had been excellent for them. That's a big loss. You now go to Ricky Collins, who, from my discussions with Javon Edmonds in the preseason, I mean, Ricky Collins, a guy who probably a little bit more physically gifted, a little faster, a little bit stronger of an arm, but a lot less polished as a quarterback, a bit younger and has, less game reps under him. So I think that's something that we got to consider moving forward for Syracuse is how does this offense function with a less savvy, albeit maybe more gifted quarterback?
Yeah, and we'll talk about it during the game preview here in a few minutes, but you would think the spread would be a little bit bigger considering that Syracuse is on their backup quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So just something to consider and talk about a little bit more here in a few minutes.
Yep. Yeah, we will be getting to that. They got a really interesting matchup here, I think, for that purpose, but we will get into that. Any other notes from week 4?
I was sick, and now I'm not.
Welcome back.
Like, not at all, or just like under control sick?
I'm under control sick, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Such as parenting little ones. You're rarely ever actually healthy anymore. So,
yeah, I went from death's door to, at least like a couple blocks away.
Functioning, yeah, a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, you moved down the street.
Yep. All right, last part of the Rhoback look back at week 4, Mike. We got to do it. Unfortunately for you, let's look back at locks from last week, where you went 1-2 on the week. You had Syracuse, Clemson under 54.5. Nope, that's not that one.
There it is.
You had Stanford team total under 17.5. And you had Cal San Diego State under 48.5. Albeit, maybe not as you drew it up before the game.
I would say that that Cal one especially, it's like it felt like found money a little bit.
They don't draw pictures on the scorecard, Michael.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right.
I feel like fair to say none of those 3 games really went in the way that you or I anticipated that they would. And by the way, this whole Stanford team total under thing that we've been doing week over week might be time to put that on ice, because I think they've been finding a little bit of something on offense that for these low numbers, like you can't necessarily just blindly bet that at this point.
One would think, but
well, the night is young. We'll see where it takes us.
The night is certainly young.
I was 2-0 last week. Had Miami, Florida under 51.5, never a sweat. Florida State, Kent State over 56.5, also never really a sweat. Florida State got there just as I thought that they would. 2-0 on the week. I'm 4-5 on the season. Mike, you're up to 5-6 on the season. Producer's pick of the week, also Cal San Diego State under 48.5.
Back to 500, baby.
2-2 on the year. Producer's pick of the week. So all's right in the world as far as I'm concerned. But Mike might have other assertions or ideas.
It's all for fun.
Well, let's flush week 4. Let's get on to week 5. We've got 7 games to preview. We've got 13 ACC teams in action. We've got Miami, Clemson, North Carolina, and SMU all on bye weeks. Of those 4 teams, Mike, only Miami coming off of a win. The other 3 coming off of losses. So once again, good time for the bye week for Clemson, North Carolina, and SMU. Maybe kind of regroup a little bit. I know Clemson and North Carolina playing each other next week. Miami has the massive game against Florida State next week. So a lot of things to prepare for these teams on bye weeks. I'm sure SMU playing someone else too, but I don't know who that is. So we'll get to that next week.
Yeah, figure out who they're playing when.
6 conference games, 1 out of conference game. Let's dig into it. We do have a weeknight game. It is Friday, September the 26th, 7 p.m. ESPN. The number 8 Florida State Seminoles on the road in Charlottesville, taking on the Virginia Cavaliers. Seminoles a 6.5 point favorite on the road, total 60.5. This is being looked at, Mike, as a pretty popular, like, might get an upset kind of spot. Like, you're hearing a lot of this chatter nationally where you do have a ranked Florida State team going on the road on a weeknight in a look-ahead spot against a feisty Virginia team. What do you think? Are you looking out for a potential upset in this spot for the Noles?
I mean, I get the chatter. Virginia's been good this year, right? The offense has been humming. Chandler Morris has been very good.
Mm-hmm.
Best quarterback they've had in a while, and he's been slinging it all over the yard. Offense has been explosive. They've been doing a lot of good things on that side of the ball. Defense has been kind of a mixed bag, but they've been scoring so many points it hasn't really mattered. Florida State, we think they're good, right? Is that?
I think they're very good.
Yeah.
I've got a future on Castellanos to win the Heisman.
What are the odds?
I think it was plus 2,300.
Yeah, that's fine.
Worth putting a couple shekels down, as they say.
I'll tell you in a minute. Keep going.
Better than 10 or 12 to 1. Good bet at this point.
Good bet. Good bet. He's in the perfect offense. He's basically 2025 Nick Marshall. It's working out well for Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is going to go well for Virginia, Joey. To be honest with you, I think Virginia will score a little bit, move the ball a little bit. This is not the game for them, in my opinion. I don't think this is going to go particularly well. In fact, I think Florida State wins this game by a few scores, like 14, 17 points, relatively like a cruise control situation. I don't.
Uh-oh.
We're going to go ahead and lock Florida State at minus 6.5.
Lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
They're really good. They're really good. And I think Virginia's good, but I think they're good against like the middle to bottom tier of the ACC. Like, I think they're going to be good against those opponents. I don't know if they're ready for this, especially with Florida State's defensive front. I do not see it with Virginia in this game. So this is not even me hating. Just I think Virginia's got a good team. I think they're going to have a great season. I think Elliott's in good shape with his job. I think he'll go into 2026 with what should be not as hot of a hot seat, but I do not see it here on a Friday night, even at home, not against this Florida State team.
Yeah. I will say, from what I've seen, Virginia doing everything in their power to try to absolutely pack the stadium for this one, right? Like,
yeah,
They should.
no reason not to, right? You got a top 10 team coming to town. Friday night should be a fun game. Not a lot else going on. I'm sure the weather is going to be decent, I would guess. But
Yeah, it's going to be a great day for Virginia tomorrow.
yeah. I saw there was a lot of back and forth on whether or not the university would cancel classes, which,
They did not.
If this were Starkville, Mississippi, I'm sure that they would, but it is an ACC program, so unlikely. But in any case, I'm kind of with you, Mike. This is a big spot for Virginia. Again, a look ahead spot for Florida State, going on the road, ranked versus unranked, small spread. Florida State been tearing teams limb from limb the last couple weeks, like all this. But that's kind of the thing for me is it's not just the fact that Florida State has comfortably beat Kent State and East Texas A&M. They beat Alabama in game 1 and looked good doing it. And then they looked really, really good and really, really motivated in beating Kent State and East Texas A&M. And they beat those teams in the way that top 10 teams beat those teams. Like, you're up almost 50 points at halftime levels of beating. Like, that's there's a different level of quality there versus a lot of other, relatively high-end programs. So that being said, I mean, I do think Virginia is going to be able to score some here. They offensively, they have been good this year. The defense, I do not think is going to have a good day against this Florida State offense and what they've got cooking so far in the season. I do worry about the look ahead spot and the look ahead, but with a line that's inside of a touchdown, I don't think that Florida State's going to let off the gas here to the point that Virginia can kick the back door in and make it a 4-point game or something late in it. I mean, if it were a 12-point spread, maybe I feel a little bit different, but 6.5, I'm okay laying them with Florida State. So I will lay them with you. Florida State minus the 6.5. Not going to lock them up just yet. We'll see how the night unfolds here on the show. But 60.5, I really like the over here, Mike. If there's anything that I'm confident here is that these two teams are going to score a lot of points. I think Florida State's going to score a lot on almost anybody, score a lot on Virginia, sure. They're going to get into the 40s. I definitely think Virginia can score 2 or 3 touchdowns in this game, and especially in the first half, those first couple drives, get on the script, something like that. You can get some points on the board. So give me the over here. And while we're talking about that, let's go ahead and lock that up. Over 60.5.
Nice.
Double barrel.
No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
Little weeknight
Nice.
over. Are you on the
yeah.
over as well?
Yeah, I'm on the over.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Fair enough. Scott, producer's pick of the week on this game?
It is not, but I did say in the group chat that I think they'll score 100. So
Yeah.
I'm with you in spirit.
Yeah, on the same
You
page
could
there.
play a little Florida State team total probably here too. I think
Yeah.
that's in play.
I was going to say, I think I was listening to, we're recording this Thursday night, by the way. I think it was 33.5, maybe I heard on the Cover 3 lock spot earlier today. Yeah, I like that as well. I think Florida State definitely gets to the upper 30s here at minimum.
Yep.
Producer Scott, by the way, confirmed that ticket on Tommy Castellanos at 28-1, which seems reasonable. That's a good number, I think.
Ridiculous.
If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't,
That's right.
nah, well, that's fine.
Anything else Friday night, September the 26th?
Nope.
All right. Let's move on to Saturday. We've got 6 more games we got to talk about here. 5 of them are conference games. We've got we're just going to do these in chronological order because I don't think there's a whole lot of rhyme or reason as to bigger games, smaller games, all that. So let's just go through them as they will appear on your TV. Let's start at noon on ESPN, coming right off the back of College Game Day. My number 16 Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets on the road in Winston-Salem, taking on the Wake Forest Steamin' Deeks. Georgia Tech, a 13.5-point road favorite, totals 52.5. This is one of those spots, Mike, for a Georgia Tech fan that you're like, oh, crap. They're going on the road. It's a nooner. I don't know how full that stadium is going to be in Winston-Salem. You're now the ranked team. You're the hunted, and Wake Forest excited for a chance to ruin your day. This is the spot that Georgia Tech is very much historically willing to screw it up in.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing that I get nervous about looking at this spot. I think I'm going to take Wake to cover. I don't think that they win the game. Wake, you look at some of the scoring stuff that they did, especially there a few weeks ago against NC State. They ran back the opening kickoff. I think there was either another defensive score or something that was a little bit fugazi, not really repeatable.
Yep.
So I don't know. I'm expecting a bit of a questionable effort here from Georgia Tech in this spot. I do think that they win. I think they can win by 7 to 10 points, but let me just go ahead and take the Deeks to cover and keep this a little bit uncomfortably close for Georgia Tech in this particular spot.
I bet against Georgia Tech last week. Took Temple.
Guess who signed up for 60?
The Owls, baby. We took the road less traveled to get there with the way the final 2.5 minutes went, but that came
Final
home.
10 seconds.
That came home. I am going to go with the Jackets here. I agree with everything you said about going to Wake, Nooner. This is the one where, Georgia Tech tends to go and roll over and lay an egg in the Brent Key era. I agree with all that. I don't think it happens against this Wake team,
Yeah.
I don't think it happened. Now, I think Dickert will have them ready to play, and it's a big game for Wake, so maybe Dickert gets Wake a little hyped up for this. And how are we feeling about Georgia Tech stopping the run against Claiborne?
Is that still nicked up?
I mean, I think if you do that, you're going to be fine here, because I don't think Robbie Ashford is like going to throw all over you.
No, yeah.
Like that's kind of the recipe to beat Wake. The Jackets need to get off the field defensively here and not play with their food on that side of the ball. I think that decides how close this game is going to be. If they get off the field on defense, I think they're going to be fine. Probably win this game going away. If they don't, I could see Wake hanging around probably longer than everybody in the Georgia Tech fan base wants them to. So I'm going to land with Georgia Tech. Don't feel great about it. I think the Jackets win. I think they cover. I think they win this game by like 17. Could see Wake uglying this up, though, for certain.
Yeah. I'm going to say, Georgia Tech maybe like 31-20 or 28-17, like a 10-11 point kind of win. That defense has not been particularly great, like across the board this season, I would say. They've had moments where they've stood up and caused drives to stall out against Colorado and against Clemson.
Yep.
But they have been a little bit leaky, and Temple had some success running the ball last weekend. And so I think Wake Forest is going to be able to find something on offense here and kind of make this a little bit closer and competitive than maybe Tech fans want it to be. Clearly, the Jackets also show that they are willing to leave the back door open a week ago against Temple. So, give me Wake Forest to cover, and I'll take the under here as well. I could see this being kind of a lower scoring game, and there's a little bit of a hedge there too on if the defense is able to totally stifle Wake's offense. Like, I don't think Georgia Tech is trying to run up the score in this spot. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're on a bye next week, so this is a little bit of a get out of here, stay healthy, and move on. Take on the Hokies at home here in a couple weeks. So we will see.
Yeah, gotta get right. I mean, look ahead spot for the worst team in the ACC.
Yeah. Did I hear you on the over here, Mike?
You didn't hear me on anything. Well, I mean, I
have
didn't.
The ultimate no man's land.
Yeah, I mean, it's like basically when Vegas doesn't know what to do, they put it around 52 or 53 points.
No.
I don't know. I lean under only because I feel like if you're going to bet Georgia Tech to cover here, you're probably thinking Wake Forest is not going to keep up offensively. I do think the path through this game going over is Georgia Tech not getting off the field defensively.
Yeah.
And having kind of similar issues that they had last week against Temple stopping the run. I think that's the path for the over. Otherwise, I don't think Wake scores enough for this game to go over.
Yep. Yeah. I think we're kind of in agreement on that in spirit at the very least. So, all right. Wake and the under for me, Georgia Tech and the under for you, Mike. Nothing here that I feel really all that excited about locking up.
No. Stay away.
Yeah. Any number of things could happen in this kind of matchup with these kinds of lines that we're looking at. So, in any case, Mike, if you are traveling to this game, going up to Winston-Salem, it's not that far. It's maybe like a 4-ish hour drive from Atlanta. But if you need something to wear, Section 103 has everything that you need. Go to section103.com. Use promo code GOACC at checkout for 10% off your first order. all sorts of wonderful Georgia Tech spirit wear. They've got the things with the official Tech gold, the official word marks on everything. They've got polos, hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, stickers. Things for men, women, children, babies, something for the whole family. All of you need something from section103.com. Once again, use promo code GOACC at checkout for 10% off your first order. I've got a new Welcome to the Flats t-shirt, really cool looking shirt. These polos, by the way, wearing it right now, super high quality, super comfortable, looks fantastic. I love mine. You'll love yours. Section103.com. One more time, use promo code GOACC for 10% off your first order. Appreciate Steven and the gang for their support.
They have comfortable stuff. What can we say?
They sure do. They sure do. Now featuring Georgia Southern as well. We've got 3 schools over at section103.com, along with the LSU Tigers. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know that any of them have lost this year. So what's that tell you about the Section 103 Magic, Mike?
It means that if all these teams keep winning, Steven's going to have to stop giving away discounts.
Yeah.
As somebody with a degree in business, I don't know how that ends up being a sustainable business model if the teams never lose. So
That's right. Some advanced economics that we don't have time to get into on this year's show.
Up the price and give a discount.
There you go. Let's stay at noon on the ACC network. The Duke Blue Devils on the road in Western New York taking on the Syracuse Orange. Duke a 4.5-point road favorite here. I've got 4.5, 5.5, whatever the number is now. Total is either 59.5 or 60.5. Hang on. We got 4.5, 59.5. I'll update my sheet here. Duke's a 4.5-point favorite. Total's 59.5. As mentioned, Steve Angeli done for the year. It is going to be the Ricky Collins show in Syracuse for the Orange. Mike, I got to tell you that the thing that this is the one thing that really kind of bothers me about this matchup for Syracuse is like coming off that game, just objectively coming off the win over Clemson. If you told me that Syracuse is a underdog at home to Duke, give me those points. I think the Orange can win this game at home. My problem is that without Steve Angeli, you've now got basically a rookie quarterback going into his first start. It is at home. That's nice. But a rookie quarterback in his first start against a Manny Diaz defense, I think Duke's defense is going to be able to put him in a blender of just not knowing what he's looking at, not knowing what to do. I think this is a really bad first matchup for a guy in his first start in conference competition. So at that point, give me Duke. I think Duke can make a mess of this game and kind of run away here a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I feel like this should be, I mentioned this a couple minutes ago, I feel like this should be a little bit of a bigger spread. The fact that it's only 4.5 tells me that Vegas looks at Duke and says, you have been screwing around all year, right?
They have been.
And like even last week, they were +4 in turnovers. They still had 8 penalties for 104 yards or whatever. It's just been an imperfect team this year. Most of the time, it's been because of the turnovers, not the penalties. The penalties haven't helped. They've been one of the highest penalized teams in the ACC this year, right? They ran into penalty issues against Illinois. They had penalty issues against Tulane. We've talked about that on this podcast. Like
Just
they've been having issues,
discipline issues,
just discipline problems. I think Duke will be fine here. They have, the quarterback I trust more in this game, right? In Mensa. I do agree with you with you have a new starter at quarterback for Syracuse going up against a Manny Diaz defense. But Duke's defense has been very up and down this year so far, too, So you could talk, I could talk myself into Syracuse finding a way here. The short spread scares me. I'm going to go with Duke. I think they win the game. I do think they're the better team, especially with Steve Angeli out. I would not necessarily feel that way if Angeli was in. I think I might actually go the other way on this, and this is probably a different spread too, right? Like,
I was going to ask, what do you think the number is if Angeli's healthy and playing?
Right. Is it short? Is it a shorter line for Duke, or is it Syracuse is actually favored by a point or two?
Yeah, I would have said maybe Duke 1.5 or something. Like,
yeah, it kind of depends what you think. Like, are we giving is Steve Angeli worth 5 points? I mean, that seems like a lot. Maybe not, but this could be closer to a pick 'em probably with Angeli in. I would say from a Vegas standpoint. So, I mean, we'll see what the new quarterback experiment looks like for Syracuse. Give me Duke. I think just more certainty on the Duke side. Having to run a new starting quarterback out against this defense to start is not, or a Manny Diaz defense to start is, not exactly what you want.
Yeah. I like the under here as well. Really kind of on both sides, because I do think Syracuse's defense has been a little bit feisty at times this year, and kind of what Erod is doing with them. Duke's offense sloppy enough that I think Syracuse is going to find a couple things that they can take advantage of here in this particular matchup, cause Duke's offense some problems. So I do like the Blue Devils to win and to cover. I'll take them maybe like 28-20 or something, like kind of relatively close. But again, we'll see. If Duke plays a clean game, I'm not sure we know really how good they can be, because they played a decent, like a cleaner game last week against NC State, and they won that in what we thought was a dangerous spot. But play a completely clean game here, and who knows what the limit is for this team. So,
yep.
But for now, I'll take Duke. I'll lay the 4.5, and I will go under 59.5. You've got minus 4.5 here as well, Mike. Are you on the under?
I'm on the under too. Yeah, just because I don't know. Too much uncertainty with Syracuse's offense coming in here.
Okay. Yep.
So.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see kind of how Syracuse looks with Ricky Collins. He played the final 10 minutes or so against Clemson last week, but that was a situation where you've got a 2-score lead and just kind of trying to not screw it up for a couple of drives, versus you got a full game against you against a defense that's going to be coming after you left, right, and center, and see what happens there.
Right.
All right, Duke and the under for the both of us. Scott?
Nope.
Nothing?
Nope.
All right. Just figured I'd check. One more at noon. This one's on ESPN2. Can I just say, I look forward to having 3 ACC games on ESPN, ESPN2, and the ACC network all at the same time, and not being able to find a quad box that has all 3 of them for God knows what reason. I look forward to this.
Yep. Yeah, we'll scream about in a few days. It'll be nice.
Yeah, can't wait. Louisville on the road. The Cardinals taking on the Pitt Panthers. Louisville, a 4.5-point favorite here. 5.5, excuse me. 5.5-point favorite here. Totals 57.5. I will update the sheet. These lines change way too fast. Man. This line's a little bit smaller than I thought it would be. Pitt has...
Remember our conversation?
Yeah. Pitt has not looked awesome. Yeah, our conversation, I think I said, and this opened smaller, right? Like this was
3.5, 4.
3.5 or 4. Yeah, so it's gone up. Pitt has not looked super impressive. Louisville, Louisville has messed around a little bit. I think we kind of expect... Mike, go. I'm just flustering over words here.
Sure. I'm gonna go with Pitt plus 5.5. I like it a lot more than when it was down 3.5, 4. This is getting closer to the touchdown that you were giving me when we talked about this on the recap last week about, hey, at what line are you going to take Pitt? And I said 7. Well, 5.5 is closer to 7 than 3 is. 3.5. Yeah, I just think that Pitt's going to ugly this up. That this is kind of what Pitt does. And they did this against, the West Virginia game was really sideways and really ugly, and they, of course, ended up losing that game. But I could see a similar, sloppy game here, and a nooner going on the road if you're Louisville. I think the key here, like I mentioned in the Georgia Tech preview, is Pittsburgh's defense going to get off the football field? That is going to be a big determining factor into whether or not they actually have the juice to pull this off on Saturday. I'm really wondering if Pittsburgh's defense, they're going to be able to get home to Miller Moss. Are they going to be able to stop the run against, obviously, a very good Louisville backfield? That's the question in this game that I have. Usually I'm not questioning Pat Narduzzi coach defenses, but the last couple editions of that have been a lot closer to what we saw at the beginning of the tenure, when the defenses were ass.
Right.
They're not really ass, but they're not fantastic either. And the Pitt offense has been a bit of a mixed bag as well so far this season. So there's not a lot of reason to look at this and say, oh yeah, like Pitt is definitely going to pull off an upset here. I think Louisville's the better team, but it's hard to go on the road to play at Pitt. And Narduzzi, generally speaking, has Pittsburgh pretty well coached. So I don't think this is going to be a walkover game for Louisville. I think it's going to be tough to go into that environment. Sleepy, noon kickoff. Weird things happen when you go to, Heinz Field. I'm still calling it that. We're not calling it Acrisure Stadium. Don't fly.
The big
Still Heinz
ketchup
Field to me.
bottle.
The big ketchup bottle. Nobody goes into the big ketchup bottle and comes out unscathed. Give me Pitt plus 5.5. I think Louisville wins close. If Pitt upset Louisville here, it would not shock me. But I think they got to play really well defensively to actually make that happen.
I'm going to look this up. I feel like they've played some weird games in Pittsburgh, these two teams in particular. Some of that goes back to the Big East days, but even since both have been in the ACC, like it hadn't been an every year kind of thing, but when it has happened, like I feel like there's been a couple of games that have gotten real weird, real wonky. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. Let's see. We got in 2020, Pitt won by 3 in Pittsburgh. And then in 23, Pitt won by 17 in Pittsburgh. So, yeah, Jeff Brom 0-1 in Pittsburgh in his tenure. I think, if anything, I kind of like the over here. Like, I like this to get a little bit loose and get a little bit pointsy. I could see this being like whoever wins like 35-31 or something. At that point, getting close to a full touchdown, I think I'm kind of with you, Mike. Give me the points in the Panthers. Do you remember how Louisville did the last time they went on the road, by the way, in a true road game?
When would that have been?
That was last year when they went into Lexington, and they did beat Kentucky for what that's worth. But the last true road game that Miller Moss was the quarterback of the Cardinals, we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
And he has been a little bit up and down, I think, so far this year as the Cardinals quarterback. You're now going on the road. Pitt, not the most intimidating road environment. You know, it's an NFL stadium that, you know, is never really like totally full, but it's not like a total library either. Like there's
right.
a decent crowd that usually shows up for these games, especially for an opponent the caliber of Louisville. Give me the Panthers. Louisville's defense has been really good, and that's probably the dumb part of taking the over. But
yeah,
probably the best thing in this game has been Louisville's defense. So when I'm wrong about all of this on Saturday night, that's what we're going to be talking about, is that Louisville's defense actually rose to the challenge and made Eli Holstein look bad and the whole thing. But for now, for preview purposes, sure, let's take Pitt in the points, and I will go over 57.5 and say this game gets a little bit loose. You know what? What's the fun in saying that Louisville wins? Let's say that Pitt wins outright on the field.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's go.
Why not?
All right.
Why not?
All right.
One of these home dogs has to win, right?
I mean, they don't have to, but yeah, one of them could, certainly. If I had to pick one home dog this weekend to win, I think it's this one.
I think it's either Pitt or Syracuse. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's this one. I mean, It could be Syracuse too, I guess. But yeah, I think Pitt would be my pick of the two.
That's fair. 57.5 over, under.
I'm going to go under. I see kind of a different game script if Pitt is going to win this game.
Kind of ugly it up. Yeah.
I think it's going to be ugly it up versus score fest. Because I don't know that you want Eli Holstein throwing the ball 55 times.
I know that you don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's a good thing,
Nope.
Especially with the way that Louisville's defense again has played so far this year, and they've been pretty good up front, especially. So
yeah,
careful with that pass rush.
Yep.
All right, Pitt and the points for both of us. I've got the over. You have the under. Anything else in this game before we move on?
Good.
Oh.
Pitt plus 5.5.
Hell yeah.
Hello.
Join us, why don't you?
Basically echo everything that Mike was saying. I kind of think that Louisville has probably been the better team so far this year, but I like Pitt coming off a bye week, right? So they're coming off a bye week. At home, they've won the last 3 at home against Louisville dating back to 2015. So that it kind of doesn't really matter in these stats because nobody in those games was playing anymore. But they did win a couple of years ago in Pittsburgh, 30-21. Not seeing that high scoring of a game, in my opinion. I do think Pitt can cover the spread.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you remember what we saw from Pitt the last time they were in a road spot?
Correct.
That was 2 weeks ago, and they crapped their pants and lost in Morgantown. Not that anyone remembers that.
Stank, stunk.
There it is.
To which I say,
That bet came home for me, by the way. Plus 7.5. So
God, it was 6.5. By the way,
it was 6.5. Sorry, excuse me.
And Pitt was up a touchdown with 30 seconds left, and then we all know what happened from there. So, anyways, all right, Pitt for all three of us, over for me, under for Mike, and Pitt plus the 5.5 is the producer's pick of the week. We will move on. The only game we have in the 3:30 window. So, if you're looking for something to do with your Saturday and you're not particularly interested in either of these two teams, this is probably your chance. At 3:30 on the ACC network, the Cal Golden Bears in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, taking on the Boston College Eagles. Boston College, a 5.5-point home favorite. Totals 52.5. These two teams are in a weird place in the world right now, Mike.
Yeah.
Cal just got shut out by San Diego State and now is going to fly all the way across the country. They're going to play a Boston College team that's lost their last 2 games, both on the road and both in kind of differing levels of devastating fashion. I really feel like
San Diego State, not San Jose State.
Did I say San Jose State?
Yeah.
No, we got more from them later. Don't you worry.
Yeah. Oh, we do. We'll be there in just a second. Yeah, San Diego State, excuse me. I feel like I should really like Boston College in this spot and with a small number inside of a touchdown. And yet, I just don't know what we're going to get from either of these teams in this spot.
Yeah, I agree. So that's why you take Cal plus the points. We're gonna go ahead and lock that up. Cal plus 5.5.
Whoa! Hang on, hold on.
Oh, I got you.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
Caught everybody off guard there.
Way off guard.
Yeah, I'm taking Cal. I don't know what we're going to get out of these two teams either. Boston College, Heartbreak City a couple weeks back against Michigan State. Then they come out lay an absolute egg against Stanford. Then you have Cal play the worst game you could possibly play against San Diego State. Aztecs score 2 defensive touchdowns. We're talking about that live on the recap. We're watching this happen to Cal. We're like, there's no possible way Cal could have come out and played this poorly.
Yeah.
And they did. And so it's interesting because you have these two teams that, I thought BC played well in East Lansing. I thought it was a heartbreaker. And then to come out and you kind of had Michigan State beat you twice, I thought, with your effort against Stanford last week, I thought was really disappointing. So it's what Boston College team is going to show up. And I feel like these teams are pretty close. I'm looking at spreads this weekend of like 3 points, 3.5, 4. I'm seeing Boston College laying almost a touchdown after what I've seen from them the last couple of weeks. And I think a lot of people are going to look at that Cal game. They're going to be like, well, Cal's not any good. Look what just happened against San Diego State. Whereas we were watching that game as we were recapping the podcast. And I'm thinking Cal plays this game 10 times. There's no way to lose them by 5 touchdowns and 8 or 9 of them. No way.
Mm-hmm.
Still think Cal's a better team than San Diego State. I think they just played really bad and it cost them.
Yeah.
I think these two teams are pretty close. I think there's a lot of reason for the betting public to look at this and be like, all right, Cal just got shut out. Now they're going across the country, play a 3:30 game against Boston College, who looks like the better team. And they might be, but give me Cal. I think Cal, I'd love to take the points here. This is where you take an underdog and you feel like you got some value. And I think at almost a touchdown, I'm getting value. So I'm going to take Cal. I'm going to lock it up. I think that think they can win this game outright, by the way. I really do. But I'm going to stay just for the pick on this podcast. I think BC wins close, Cal covers. That's like a field goal game, I feel like. And an under game, too. I think it's under 53.5, lower scoring. Defenses play well here.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think Cal covers, BC wins close.
I was going to say, I mean, tell me that Cal wins this game. Like, as we said, who knows what to expect from either team in this spot. Mike, I'm going to lay him with Boston College, actually.
Yep.
And my reasoning here is that if you go look at some of the numbers for that loss to Michigan State, Boston College should have won that game.
Oh, yeah.
Like the win probability on that by SP Plus, I think, was north of 70%. Like they found a way to lose it in a game that they basically probably should have won. And then you go into Stanford 2 weeks ago against a team that you absolutely should beat. And in 90% of their plays, they were better. But Boston College found some just wildly unlucky moments where Stanford hits like 3 or 4 big plays on offense. Boston College, I think, turned the ball over inside the 5-yard line twice in that game or something. Just in wildly game-changing plays that are ultimately really pretty random.
Yep.
I feel like I'm looking at a 1-2 team that by all means should be 3-0, laying less than a touchdown at home against a Cal team that still very much like what are or aren't they. I think this is a get right spot for Boston College. I think they can win this by at least a touchdown. So I will lay them. I don't feel all that confident in anything here. So I won't be locking anything up. If anything, I guess give me the over on the total. I think both of these teams might quietly be able to score a little bit. And Cal's defense probably better than Boston College's, but I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I think to your point, if Cal is able to keep this really close and or win, it's probably on the back of their defense, which has played pretty well for most of the year so far. Obviously, they hit a couple speed bumps last week, but by and large through 4 games, like they've played okay. So
yeah, they were on the field a lot last week too, and they really only gave up a few defense. It was 2 defensive scores, right, for San Diego State. So I mean, the defense really didn't play all that poorly. It was certainly not their best effort, but yeah, I do still think there's a lot of reason to believe in Cal's defense.
Yep. Boston College and the over for me, Cal and the under for you, Mike. You've got Cal locked up plus the 5.5. A fascinating spot, I think, for both of these teams. We will just have to see kind of what happens here as the Eagles host the Golden Bears. Anything else before we move on to the night segment, the night slate?
Yeah, you mentioned it. Pitt is the home dog of the week, right?
Think so. Yeah, have to be.
So go shop at Home Field. Use code GOACC24 at checkout. Go get your sweet, sweet home field apparel.
Thank you, Scott, for remembering.
Jackets, hats, joggers, T-shirts. A lot of quality items over there at Home Field Apparel. We love our Home Field Apparel. I have way too much Home Field Apparel. My wardrobe is basically Rhoback Home Field Apparel and like one Section 103 thing. Sorry, Joey, but I own a lot of and wear of all of what these sponsors are because I abuse the code all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So circular money there. But anyway, go code GOACC24 checkout. Link is in the description. If you click the link in the description, it'll auto-load the code into your cart. So just do whatever, check out. It will automatically add the code. Thank you.
Far be it from us to forget to do an ad read at some point in this show. So thank you, Scott, for catching us this one time that we have ever messed this up.
First time, last time.
You said that Pitt was the Home Field Apparel home dog of the week?
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Woof, woof.
Joey, did you just like hold a phone up to just like you're on a work call and just FedEx guy comes, Amazon? I could do that. I got one of my 2 dogs the crazier one, asleep on the floor next to me, passed out.
I figure we got to be careful using things like a doorbell sound effect that might really get people's dogs going.
Yeah. Yep. Especially if you're listening to this while you're working. Which is one of my go-to things that I do.
That's
to
right.
Get through my workday.
There you go. All right, let's do the night slate. 7:00 on the CW. Mike, your Virginia Tech Hokies on the road. Producer Scott, your Virginia Tech Hokies too. Whether you claim them or not at this point, they're yours. They're on the road.
They're back. They made the right choice. They're back.
And there you go. They cleansed themselves of the Brent Pry of it all. They're on the road in Raleigh, taking on the NC State Wolfpack. NC State, a 10.5-point home favorite here. Totals 58.5. If I'm being honest here, there's they looked okay against Wofford last week. There is still potential for some dead cat bounce here.
Yep.
But I'm also seeing multiple starting level guys enter the transfer portal. We're kind of checking out on the season. Producer Scott, I am not going to be fooled by the idea of, we got a new interim in place. Maybe they're going to play hard for Phil Montgomery.
Whoa, I never said that about my team. Wait till later, Joey.
I didn't say you did. I'm trying to get your attention for a different reason. It's because NC State minus a 10.5. Let's go ahead and lock that bad boy up.
Oh yeah, better you than me.
You better lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I think Virginia Tech, not like they were in full on quit mode there towards the end with Brent Pry.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're still in full on quit mode, but I don't know how far back you can come from full on quit mode this season. 10.5 at home for a decently frisky NC State team. Not enough. I think the Wolfpack runs away with this game.
I'm on NC State minus 10.5 as well. I will not be locking it up. I think I mentioned this. There's a path. There's a path for Virginia Tech to score some points here. NC State is 133rd nationally against the pass, which that's not the strength of Virginia Tech's offense, I don't think. Not that they do anything too spectacularly well, but
you said 133rd nationally?
They're giving up over 290 yards per game through the air.
How many national teams are there? I think it's like 136 or something.
136. They are a handful from the bottom. Yep, not great. 107th in points allowed. They're 114th total offense allowed. I mean, it's not a good defense for NC State.
Is that good?
No, it's not good. Not good, Dabo.
Who's to say?
It's not good. If Virginia Tech cannot move the ball against this NC State team, they're not going to be moving the ball much in conference play at all.
But Mike,
I think the Hokies can score on NC State next week. I do. I do. I think they can score on NC State. That's why I'm locking up something different, Joey.
Producer Scott's got receipts. Go ahead.
Over 57.5.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
I think Virginia Tech scores like 24 points here. I think that's enough to push it over. I think NC State wins like 38-24.
I'm very tempted to join you on the over here because I think it was last week that I got completely burned and I realized like I am out on NC State unders for the foreseeable future. Like,
yeah, don't bet them.
They can score a little bit. They cannot stop almost anybody. It doesn't seem like. Very tempted to join you. I'm going to hold off for now.
You can't, Joey. You cannot trust the Virginia Tech defense either, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, what are we? They played well for one half against Vanderbilt and against South Carolina against an offense that it's not aging well. And you throw the Wofford game out, right? So I mean, you've played 6 quarters of football, right, against Old Dominion and Vanderbilt, where the defense was stiff. I mean, it was horrible.
Yeah, if anything, it's a little bit of a question in my mind of how much does Virginia Tech score here. I mean, could you see him scoring 28? Sure. Could you see him scoring 13? Yeah,
buddy. If they score like 28 to 35 points, which seems outrageous against a warm, breathing football team.
They could win.
That's plus 10.5, and they could win. Right.
Yeah.
I'm with you. But I don't see that happening. I think the upper echelon of Virginia Tech's scoring output this season is going to be basically what I don't. The high water mark was last week. I don't think they're going to score mid-30s very often.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was, 38-6. I don't remember what the final was.
Yep, that's correct. Didn't cover.
I'm gonna leave it without locking this up because that number is high enough that I don't know. There are some of these like score totals that I could kind of see that like just barely get over. Yeah, I have my concerns about how much Virginia Tech will contribute to the total, so I will probably leave that alone. But give me NC State minus 10.5 locked up. You've got the over 57.5 locked up. We both have NC State and the over, so it's just a matter of confidence on that.
Yeah.
Scott, feeling good about the Hokies?
Nope.
Attaboy. All right.
Would not shock me.
It's the ACC, Mike.
Wouldn't shock me. Dead cat bounce twice. We haven't done a dead cat bounce against an FBS opponent yet.
That's right. That is all 6 conference games we've got this weekend, Mike. We've got one more at 7:30 on the ACC network. Glad that Stanford is kicking this off at 7:30. No, I'm not. Would be nice to have something to watch in the late window, but you know who's counting? Stanford, a 3.5-point home favorite here against the San Jose State Spartans.
Yep.
Spartans, right? Yeah, there you
Yep.
go. Total's 50.5. Do we have to talk about this game?
No, I mean
Stanford's
not this
favored.
segment.
Both of these teams, like, just like
There it is.
cheeks, Mike, cheeks. Are we laying points with Stanford as a favorite?
No. San Jose State plus 3.5. No.
Man.
I can't do it. I think last week was Stanford's best game of the season. I think it's probably going to remain that way.
Yeah.
Boston College came in like a wounded duck or wounded something. I don't know. What did they say?
That's right.
Is that right? Wounded duck? All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what they were.
Wounded Eagle.
Wounded Eagle. Thank you for that. Yes. Because they are the Eagles. I don't see Stanford playing quite as well as they did last week. Maybe again the rest of the season. I think San Jose State's got the better coach. I'm not going to sit here and pretend. You said they beat Idaho close.
31-28.
Idaho's not horrible, but they're on the FCS. So, I mean, Stanford could be in the FCS.
I think Idaho's like a top 10 or 12 FCS kind of program.
Yeah.
They were an FBS program like 10 years ago and just felt the need to kind of drop down, but they've still been a pretty decent quality program for FCS. So yeah, I don't know.
I think I'm just going to go San Jose State plus 3.5, and I'm going to take the under here. Under 50.5.
It's probably a better watching experience, honestly.
I'll be watching it. All right.
Don't need to. You're not begging Stanford to score because that's never a fun game watching experience. Is hoping Stanford scores.
Right.
I mean, the team total's at 27.5. Mike, you feeling frisky?
I'm going to hold off my thoughts on this for a few minutes.
Oh, boy.
Let's just say this isn't the last we're going to hear of this game this evening.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness gracious.
I know when that hotline bling.
Call the hotline.
Call the hotline, Mike.
Yeah, that's not the last time we'll be hearing that sound either.
Oh, I'm such a square here. Lay him with Stanford. I don't feel good about it.
How could
but
you?
it's only 4 points. I mean, San Jose lost to Central Michigan. They didn't really put up all that good of a fight against Texas. I don't know. I can somewhat believe that Stanford is putting something together on offense. Like they are realizing there's only certain throws we can ask Ben Goldbrinson to make. Break a big play here or there. I'm going to lay him with Stanford. That's fine. 49.5, entirely too many points. I'm going to go with the under there. Sorry, 50.5. I'm not locking anything up in a Stanford San Jose State game in 2025. So pass on all of that. But for the sake of picks for the podcast, under for both of us, I've got Stanford. You've got San Jose State plus the 3.5.
It's a coin flip on the spread, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm not married to it by any means.
Yep. That's all I got. All right. Anything else on that game? We're closing in on an hour and 12. So,
the night is still young for what's to come here.
The night is young. Producer Scott, is it time to move on to the Sickos picks of the week?
It depends if you want to do the locks recap before that.
We can go ahead and do a locks recap if we want to. Let's look back. Locks on the week. I have over 60.5 in Florida State and Virginia. Mike has Florida State minus the 6.5 in that game. Producer's pick of the week, Pittsburgh plus the 5.5 against Louisville. Mike has Cal plus 5.5 against Boston College. I have NC State minus 10.5 against the Hokies. Mike has over 57.5 in that NC State Virginia Tech game as well. We good with me only having 2 locks? Do I need to pick another one?
Do whatever you want.
All right, then I'm good. I'm going to stand pat, and we'll just kind of see what happens.
Okay.
Those are your locks for week 5 in the ACC. Sickos picks of the week. Let's look back at last week.
Flame here, sicko mode.
Good sound. Very good,
Producer
Scott.
Scott in his bag this week.
Never have to play that after every one of these picks, too. That or the other one.
Yeah, well, before the episode gets DMCA'd, but who's counting? Who cares? Last week's Sickos picks of the week. Mike, you had Ball State plus the 21.5 against UConn. That came in.
Cashed.
Yeah, it did cash. You're 1-1 on the week. On the year, excuse me. I had North Texas minus 1.5 against Army, disrespecting the troops. That came in an overtime spot. I am 2-0. Sickos picks of the week. Producer Scott, Georgia State plus 28.5 at Vanderbilt.
God.
Yeah.
I got
All right.
obliterated.
In my defense, I read the schedule wrong, and I thought Vandy was playing Alabama like this week. They're playing them next week. So I didn't realize that until the game was happening, and they're like, they play Alabama in 2 weeks, and I'm like, I'm an idiot. So
Not a look ahead spot. Yeah.
my bad.
Well,
That's all on me.
in fairness, when we were sitting here doing this last week, if I had told you that the Vandy team total was 63.5, you probably would have lost money taking the under on that game. So
It was crazy.
they racked up 70 points against Georgia State last week. But Mike 1-1, I'm 2-0, Scott 0-2 on the year. Mike, you've been really just jazzed up about your Sickos pick of the week. Do you want to start? Do you want to finish it out? How do you want to play this?
I think I'll go last.
Okay. Scott, you care if I go first?
Go for it. I've got about 5 on my board.
Getting busy over here. All right. Sickos pick of the week. Last week, we disrespected the troops. We took North Texas minus the 1.5 against Army, and we won. This week, USA. It is Ryder Cup weekend, Mike and Scott.
It is.
We got big things on the slate, and the USA, by the way, catching 12.5 at those North Texas Mean Green. We're on South Alabama and the Jaguars catching 12 and a hook in Tyler or Denton. Where is North Texas? Hang on, I should know this.
You live in Texas.
Okay, but you'll be
I believe it's
surprised
Denton.
to find out Texas is a big place. It is Denton, Texas. Yes,
Denton, Texas for North Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, Denton, and that is kind of north of the DFW area.
I've
So
coached North Texas in the college football video game. That's how I am so familiar with the Denton area.
There you go. It is, it's way out there. By the way, it's halfway between Dallas and like Oklahoma. So, shout out to the Mean Green.
Isn't that most
USA
of Texas?
Well,
Yes.
I mean, yes. As I said, you'll never believe this. It's a big place down here. But anyways, give me South Alabama plus the 12.5. Keep it at least pretty close. That's a competitive Jaguars team. So I'll take South Al.
Okay. I don't want to play the sound over and over again. Just FYI. So I'm going to play for the sickest of the sick. Okay.
All right. Fair.
All right. I've got 5 on the board. You guys tell me what's sickest of the sick. Let's get through these.
I'll let you know if I'm joining you on any of these.
Okay. So we're going back to the well. We're going back to Vanderbilt because they are playing Alabama next week. Okay. We got Alabama, Utah State, first half under 30.5. First half. They're going to come out slow.
Vandy, Utah State.
I think they're playing Utah State.
I say Alabama's in Athens this weekend. So, but
yeah, Vandy is playing Alabama next week. They're going to be looking ahead. They're coming out the gates slow.
Vandy hosting Utah State.
First half under 30.5. Okay.
Wow. Okay. All right.
All right. Next
one.
Next. Illinois. Illinois. They're going to get beat twice. Team total under 27.5.
I think they lose too.
Against a Lincoln defense. All right. Sure.
I think they lose too.
They just got the crap kicked out of them. Next, we're going down Stillwater. Oklahoma State fired Coach Energy. First half plus 11.5 in the first half. So Cowboys plus 11.5 in the first half line.
Against
I forget who they're playing. Who are they playing?
They are playing. I can look that up for you.
They got Baylor at home.
Baylor.
Yes, in Stillwater.
11.5 in the first half. I like that. That's a good pick.
See, let's go. Fired Coach Energy right there. Fourth on the list. We're talking about Massachusetts again.
Oh no!
I heard today on Cover 3. Shout out Cover 3. That apparently the whole roster is in shambles. They're all injured. They literally were writing in their injury report, like, unfortunately, this is really sad news, but like this player or something. We're going UMass team total under 5.5. Okay.
Bud like opened up the program and was like, all right, let me just go down the list here, Chip. It's like,
all right. And then the final Sickos pick of the week is we're taking a step outside of the college football world. We're going Ryder Cup, Team Europe, plus 165 to win the Ryder Cup. That's un-American, but that roster is loaded.
That's a good bet.
yeah, it's a good pick, unfortunately.
Plus money on Europe. Just do it.
Okay. Thanks.
I like the Oklahoma State pick personally.
The Oklahoma State pick's good. I'm a fan.
You're getting double digits in the first half at home.
Yep.
In almost any spot. Like, I'm good for that. So, I don't know. That's my personal opinion. I don't know if that's like super. That's probably pretty sick. I don't know.
All right. That's my slate. Michael?
Do you guys want to go in the ACC or outside the ACC to start?
You start in the ACC.
Let's start in the ACC. Let's head back to the farm.
Oh, boy.
I foreshadowed this a little bit. I mentioned that I was on the under. It was 50.5 was the game under, I believe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got a twofer for you.
Oh no.
Stanford first half under 13.5.
Team total.
Okay.
We're gonna go San Jose State team total under 10.5 first half.
You just hate points.
Don't think either of these teams score very much. And boys, we're going to step outside the ACC for his last one. This one I think is going to get me incarcerated potentially. FanDuel is allowing me to bet on a school called Lindenwood.
Lindenwood?
What? Is that a jail?
We're taking Lindenwood plus 20.5 at Miami,
Against who?
Ohio.
I know when that hotline bling.
Miami,
Who?
Ohio. Lindenwood plus 20.5
Is that a D2 school?
against Miami, Ohio.
They're in the Ohio Valley Conference, it looks like. I've never heard of this school. They
from
went into
Missouri.
Boone and lost to App State by a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So
They did.
The Lindenwood Lions. What do we say? 21 and a hook?
20.5.
Lindenwood plus 20 and a half against Miami, Ohio. All right. Well, that's a new one.
So we are betting on Division II schools.
They're FCS school, to be fair.
They're FCS. Okay, good. They're at least in the FCS.
As of 2023. Just to be clear. They weren't until 2023.
Oh,
And I have one honorable mention that made my card. I'm not sure this really qualifies for sick. But I have Central Michigan first quarter minus 1.5 against Eastern Michigan.
first quarter minus 1.5 against another directional Michigan.
Does that qualify?
You know what? Hell yeah.
Cool.
That game is only available on ESPN Plus. Who am I?
Cool. Perfect. So we'll go ahead and add a fourth Sickos pick for me.
Wait, so that was a first quarter minus 1.5 versus Eastern Michigan. Okay.
Get plus 116 on that bet, by the way.
I like the Jews.
Good luck to me trying to decipher these notes at a later date to determine if all of these picks won or not.
You didn't even write down all of mine, but lucky you, Joey.
I thought we were only
down.
picking one. I didn't realize we're like emptying the clip on Sickos picks of the week.
I'm sorry. I had three. Two of them were from the same game, and then I had to bet on a school called Lindenwood. So I think we're good. I had three this week, and I guess an honorable mention Central Michigan bet.
Hey, Mike, this is a real deep cut, but should I text my friend Linwood and ask him if he knows about Lindenwood?
That is a deep cut.
I don't even know who we're talking about at this point.
My friend Linwood.
I don't know who that is. I believe you that he exists, or
He
they,
does
she
exist.
exists. I don't know, but
He exists.
yeah, you know. Okay.
Shout out Linwood if you're listening. Sometimes he does.
Yeah, we got to go check with the committee on like what the rules are here on how many picks are allowed in Sickos picks of the week.
If you pick two from the same ACC game, you get a bonus pick. And that's how I ended up betting on Lindenwood
Yeah,
on this fine Thursday evening.
man.
If you're really sick with strep throat and you're just scrolling through DraftKings for 2 days, that's how you end up with 5.
And if you're Travis Scott, I mean,
True.
Younger flame, he in sicko mode.
oh, probably smart. We're gonna get DMCA.
Yeah, smart.
So, yeah.
It's only 7 seconds long. I think it might pass through.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's probably fine. Other episodes we've done in the past, less fine.
Yeah, when we were playing 30 seconds, 40 seconds of songs for our bumper music.
Yeah. Well, you live and you learn, you know.
Yeah.
Week 5 motto, I guess.
All right.
That's all I got. Mike's got anything else on week 5 before we get out of here? Go watch some games.
See you for the
football.
recap. Yeah, football.
We will see you for the recap. We will get together and talk about scheduling. I don't know how available I will be for the Saturday Night Live recap this week, but we'll figure it out. Either way, youtube.com/@the ACC Football Podcast. hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. You'll be notified when we're going to go live, whether it is Saturday night or Sunday night or whenever it ends up being. Appreciate the people for doing that. Otherwise, on audio, we're on Spotify, on Apple, on Amazon, anywhere you go find your audio podcasts. Hit that subscribe button, rate, review. We appreciate the people for doing all of that. Basketball Conference Podcast at gmail.com is the email address.
Nailed it.
Thank you. At FTRS Joey, at Mike McDaniel SI, at Producers Pick.
Yep, that's it.
Yep, that
Yep,
one. At
perfect.
BC Podcast ACC. On Twitter, go find us there. Anything else? Mike, Scott, before we get out of here.
Go Lions.
Lindenwood Lions.
Lindenwood. Yeah. I have been watching college football like religiously for 16 years now.
They were D2 until 3 years ago, Joey. It's okay.
Okay, that would explain a lot more because I was like, why have I never heard of Lindenwood? I've heard of basically every FCS program out there, but this one, all right, that would explain a lot more though. So I appreciate that. Mike, Scott, you want to go watch some games and come back and recap them?
Yeah, I'll be watching the Ryder Cup tomorrow morning when this podcast drops. So while you're listening to your podcast, have your Ryder Cup on in the background.
USA.
We'll cheer for the USA, but the money says you probably should bet Europe.
Also plus 12.5 against North Texas, USA. So
There we
keep
go.
that in mind. Mike, Scott, it's been fun. We'll talk soon and recap week 5. How's it sound?
Awesome.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Until then, for Mr. Mike McDaniel, for Mr. Producer Scott, I am Joey Weaver. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll talk to you again very, very soon. Until then, enjoy the games and go ACC.